Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but you know, life progresses. As you can see here, we have an oldie but a goodie, the old MPC Tie Interceptor. It is a snap together kit, which I don't really like, so what I plan on doing is I'm going to take my screw cutters here, and there are two posts. Move this in. There's one here, and then there's one on the opposite side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these off, and then I'm going to glue the fuselage halves together, then that way I can get a better seam, better join line. I've already cleaned up the wings, got them off the sprue trees, and cleaned up the connection points. I'm going to have to go back. There are quite a few little pinholes in here, so I'm going to have to go back, and of course I'm going to use sprue goo to fill those in, and then I'll sand them. But anyway, you know, the cockpit on this thing, whoops, right is left is right, hey, I'll get it right here in a second, is really sparse. Not a whole lot of anything. Yeah, there's a few dials and buttons and stuff like that. Not a biggie. I'm just going to paint this. There's not going to be a pilot in or anything, because from what I understand, the pilot that comes with this kit is actually the A-wing pilot, which to me reminds me of a 48 scale Sherman tank driver. So we're just going to leave that out. That doesn't have to do with anything with Star Wars, so just leave it out. So I'm going to set that over here. I'm going to grab my old sprue cutters, if I can hold on to them, and I'm going to remove these posts as it goes shooting across the room. But hey, that's okay. That's what a broom's for. Okay. Now, this is something that AMT and MPC are notorious for, and these are these really huge connection points. So what I do to get rid of them is I have a micro saw. Depending on how thick it is, I'll use the micro saw. If it's not too bad, I'll use my sprue cutters. And then what I'll do is I'll take my X-Acto knife and go and use the back of the knife to clean up the seam line. So let me go ahead and start removing these parts from the tree. I'm just going to cut it above this point so it doesn't chew up the plastic. That one. That one's not so bad. And as you can hear, this is some pretty thick plastic. Okay, so we've done that. As you can see, there is quite a lot of flash right in this area. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just give it a little trim. Part out. Okay, now I'm using the back of my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to scrape this just a little bit. Okay, that connection point's gone. As you can see, there's flash on this side, so we're going to turn it first. Then I'm going to turn the blade over to on the dull side, and then I'm going to scrape. If you haven't done this before, don't worry, you'll get a feel for it. Just kind of hold your blade at like a 45-degree angle and then just pull towards you lightly. Also, another thing I've noticed on this kit, the landing gear. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to put it as it's in flight, so I need to fill these holes up. To do that, I need to first get rid of the excess flash, which is what I'm doing now with the X-Acto knife. Which that looks okay. Now I'm going to, as you can see, these gates right here are really thick and nasty. Well, I hope you can see it. Nope, can't. Hey, that's my fault. Sorry, guys. Right here, they are really thick and nasty on both sides. So I'm going to lay them here flat and line up the saw. Now these blades are made to, when you push, it'll cut, but the way I have it set up in here, when I pull, it'll cut. So I'm just taking my time, light passes. I'm letting the saw blade do the work. Now, okay, got it to a point. There we go. I just bend it just a little to kind of open up the groove. Sorry gang, I gotta hold this thing because there's a part right there and I don't want it messed up. As you can see, I'm cutting through it. I'm just taking my time, in no hurry. So just slowly doing it. Still making sure I'm on camera, sorry. And here goes that one. Now see, it still leaves a little bit of an edge, but you know, you can go back in with your X-Acto knife and clean that up. Not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side. Get it going first. This one's a little bit easier because I can get to it better. Like I said, as you can see, both the attachment points are gone, so I'm going to set that there. Now I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Remember, X-Acto, the knife point to trim the flash off, and then the back of the blade at a 45 to scrape off any seams, like right here around the that's the back of the interceptor, so where the engine goes. So as you can see, I'm scraping that gently. Okay, I'm going to do this side now. Blade over, 45, just pull it towards me. There we go. Now, excuse me just a second, I'm going to cut this off. I don't want to bore you guys to death by me cutting off a piece of plastic. There's been quite a lot of reviews on this kit. You know, it is an older kit. It was made back in the 80s when Return of the Jedi came out. So this kit's been around the block a little bit. It's cutting fine. There we go. It's just really thick. There we go. Okay. Done with the saw, so we can put that back. Now I'm going to take my blade and clean up just a little bit, like so. Now I'm going to scrape. Take a little bit of a sanding stick to this. This is a medium grade sanding stick. Believe it or not, I like using these emery sticks because they have a little bit of foam inside of them, and I usually get them from beauty shops for like $1 a pop. I've had this one for about 20 years, and it still sounds pretty good. Okay, that's right. This one. And I'm trying to do this as easy as I can because there's a raised line, and I don't want to lose that detail. Here we go, they got it. Okay, get this side now. Sorry guys, didn't mean to pull that off camera if I did. For those of you that are subscribed to my channel, first off I want to say thank you. I have a couple of projects coming up that I'm hoping you guys will enjoy. One is a cult classic of mine that, you know, I've loved for years. When I saw it, you know, as a child when it came out, and it was one of my favorite Disney movies, and plenty of action in it and everything else. And that was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Well, let's drive it, these, see how they look. Not too bad, eh? Anyway, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, so I give this the box. Found someone that would actually let me resin cast a Nautilus kit that they had to make a model out of. Well, I did that, did the pours and everything, so next week there will be an unboxing of that. Also, hey, there's a couple of people I want to give a shout out to that really got me interested in starting to do this channel and everything. Yeah, I know it's not the perfect channel or anything like that, but you know, I'm trying and it will get better. First off, I want to, and these guys are all on YouTube, I'm going to give you their YouTube usernames. I want to start off with Simon Merks, who does the studio scale model kits and stuff. Like I said, he's on YouTube. Does a hell of a job with his kits. I mean, they're beautifully done. Next is Lou Dalmaso, which, Lou, I hope I said your name correctly. The thing I like about Lou is he'll build anything. I mean, some of his kits are just amazing. His detail blows me away. Another guy that I really like, it's SteveTheFish.net. Greg builds sci-fi, aircraft, figures, vinyls, everything else. Just a great guy. He's really informative. He does everything step by step, which is the format that I'm trying to take. So Greg, buddy, I'm copying you, but I hope you don't mind. Steve Neal, or SNG, Steve Neal's Garage. I really liked his format to begin with, but now that he has changed it so much, I really don't like it anymore. But you know, he is a hell of a builder and everything else, and so I'm going to give him props, because he actually he was one of the guys that actually got me to do this, you know, just watching his videos. Another thing that I do is I build something called garage kits, or GKs. They're cast out of resin. If you really want to learn something, there is a lady on here, and her YouTube username is Leona's. God, I can't remember it. Leona's workshop. Excuse me. Sorry, it's been a long day. She is awesome doing these things. I mean, she makes them look perfect. She has plenty of tutorials on her page. You know, step-by-steps, whips. I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to do a garage kit of your favorite Japanese anime, go over and give her a look, and I guarantee you'll like what you see. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to be doing a inbox review of the Nautilus. I'm also going to be going back to the Tomcat. I'm going to finish it. Like I said, I'm changing my forte on the page. I want to go back to science fiction, because that's my roots. That's where I came from in doing these kits and everything when I was younger. You know, I'm also, and this is going to be a stretch for me, I'm also thinking about starting a Patreon account. You know, a lot of you guys that are subscribers are my friends on Facebook. You know my background, what's going on in my life and everything. You know that I'm disabled. I get a monthly paycheck because I cannot work. That monthly paycheck is just barely enough to cover the bills for my son and I, and to put groceries, you know, in the refrigerator. It's not enough to cover my medication or anything like that, and it certainly does not cover the cost of models. So, you know, hey, if you like what you see, support me. I don't care if it's $1, I don't care if it's $2, anything would help. You know, I've been building models for on and off about 40 some odd years now. I'll be 46 in August, and this hobby has kept me out of a lot of trouble, and I'm very happy that I can actually say that. You know, it's just a fun thing to do, but unfortunately it's not like it was years ago when you can go out and buy a kit for, you know, $10, $15, your allowance or whatever, and you know, build the kit, buy your paint and all that other stuff, and just have a good time at it. These things have actually gone up quite a lot, so unfortunately it is what it is. And yep, there's a bunch of flesh in there, so I'm gonna have to cut that out. Alright, great old kits, I love them. You know, a lot of people love Bandai and everything else for their Star Wars kits. No, don't get me wrong, I've built a couple of Bandai kits. They're okay. I like the Gundam kits a lot. They're pretty cool. Easy to build. But if you really want to challenge yourself as a modeler, get you an old kit. Because believe me, you're going to have to learn how to putty, how to sand, how to scratch build. But I guarantee you, once you get those skills down, you'll have a ball. So sorry about that, I had to clean out the flash that was in there for this piece to fit in. like it's supposed to, because this piece, let me get it one up, fits on the front as such. And besides that, with the glass and everything in there, by the time I get this thing painted, you're not really going to see a lot of the detail. You're not going to see a pilot or any of that other stuff, because it's not a very big opening. So, you know, like I said, this that'll sit like that. Come on, get in there. There we go, like so. And you know, it's funny, but there's no, I'm guessing that's the only mounting point that they actually thought the kit would need for the cockpit. But, you know, hey, it works. So, like I said, I'm going to glue this kit together. I'm just doing a little bit of dry fitting. Always remember when you build a kit to dry fit. Hey, that rhymes. I like that. Well, not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to take a little breather and come right back here in just a moment. So I'll see you in just a minute or two.